Hello, nerds and nerdettes. Welcome back to the channel where once again we have a new top 5 for you guys. Today's top 5 being 5 mangas that I highly recommend for comic book readers. It's typically going to be based on the genre, characters, or the overall storytelling method. But before we get into the top 5, of course, starting with number 5, a quick reminder that if you're looking for any comic book collected editions, to use the channel sponsor organicpricebooks.com. Use the discount code STAYNERDY for $2 off your order, or you can use the discount code STAYNERDY ship it together when ordering 3 or more books to get 5% off that order. And this is a manga focused video, so for my manga lovers, I am a Right Stuff affiliate. Sorry, stumbling over my words. Right Stuff affiliate. So if you guys want to head down into the description and use my links, there is a Right Stuff code there that will help you support the channel. Of course, the Organic Price Books code as well as the Right Stuff links are a great way to help support the channel in general, and I am always thankful for every little bit you guys do. But without further ado, let's jump right into the top 5, starting with number 5. First up at number 5 is going to be Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin. These do come in beautiful hardcover editions, at least the way that I collected it. Not too sure other ways that this series is collected since I do have it in my collection already. But I highly recommend this for people that are fans of the political style of drama, or almost like militarized storytelling where you have two factions at war with another, and every character that kind of gets introduced is playing a role in that war. It does very much feel somewhat similar to that of Star Trek, where you have a ship or a mobile suit that is playing. It's a one singular vessel or one singular vehicle, if you will, that is playing a major role in a overarching story and an overarching war that is taking place between two factions. I definitely think this is great for comic book readers, mainly because of the inclusion of giant mechs and robots fighting to the death in space and on land. You name it, it's taking place here. It's also fairly well written, especially when it pertains to the antagonist, the protagonist, a lot of the supporting cast. A lot of those members are very fleshed out and feel very organic in the way that they act during certain situations or certain conversations. I think it is absolutely great for comic book readers, especially because of the fact that, like I said, it includes giant robots, and most of you comic book readers, myself included, love giant robots, probably love kaijus, love kind of that realm of storytelling as well as action, and that's exactly what you do have in this series. It is absolutely great. If you do get these little deluxe edition tankobon hardcovers, is a great way to get the series, and also the covers are absolutely magnificent if you couldn't tell already. But that does wrap up number 5, so let's jump to number 4. And coming in at number 4 is Monster, which I have collected in these beautiful perfect editions. I highly recommend this to comic book lovers that are huge fans of mysteries or thrillers or borderline horror style stories, because that's exactly what this series is in general. Has very similar notes to that of Gideon Falls or Postal, maybe even Ice Cream Man if you remove that science fiction supernatural element from that story. That's pretty much the vibe that you're going to get from Monster. Just a story that's going to cause the hairs on the back of your neck to stand up. But the story does follow Dr. Tenma, who's a neurosurgeon that actually ends up saving a serial killer, for a lack of better words. And the story that unravels and unwinds from that point on is absolutely addicting. There's so many twists and turns and mysteries that you end up solving or finding out or try to solve yourself, and it hooks you immediately, as if a neurosurgeon saving or accidentally saving a serial killer isn't enough to hook you already, which it probably is. But I highly recommend this for my thriller fans, my horror fans. There are a decent amount of scenes in here that are pretty chilling. One in particular that pops up into my head that involves a wig. For those of you that have read it, you probably know what I'm referencing there. absolutely chilling. A great read for comic book lovers that do like those thriller slash mystery style of stories. But that does wrap up number 4, so we'll jump to number 3. And coming in at number 3 is Battle Angel Alita. I have it collected here in the box set, which collects hardcovers, but I do believe there's omnibus 3-in-1 editions, as well as the hardcovers as individual volumes where you can buy them without coming with the box set. But I highly, highly recommend this for my comic book readers that are huge fans of the science fiction, cyberpunk kind of setting with a lot of action, because again, this is 100% the depiction or description I would give to Battle Angel Alita. It is full of awesome action sequences, some that will absolutely get the blood pumping, and the art is magnificent. The setting that this story is set in is very unique and interesting at the same time, and it gets very fleshed out. The world building in this series is magnificent as well, and it also does follow a female protagonist who is absolutely badass throughout the entire story. There is a continuation from this story, so technically this does not wrap up the story that follows Alita, but still, it is a great story. It is great for beginners that are first kind of jumping into manga, either from anime or maybe even comic books, mainly because of the art and the amount of action. Some of these panels throughout this manga, jumping off the page, the movement, the ferociousness, every aspect of it almost just reads like a anime or something very action-packed that we would see in the comic book world. So highly recommend it for those of you that are huge action fans or action comic book fans in general. But that does wrap up number 3, so we'll jump to number 2. And coming in at number 2 is The Ghost in a Shell. This is the box set, which collects the 3 hardcovers, but you can get the 3 hardcovers individually, as well as a all-in-one hardcover as well. You can find that at Organic Price Books, hint hint, or Right Stuff Anime as well, hint hint. But this is a absolutely great series. It does have a lot of kind of spy thriller or spy action style of storytelling, but the setting is more of why it's a recommendation to me, because it is very similar notes to a recent review that we just did, that is Tokyo Ghost, where this world is completely connected with the internet in a multitude of ways. So it is very similar to that of Tokyo Ghost by Rick Remender. This does read very much like a independent title that you would see delivered from writers like Rick Remender or maybe even Jeff Lemire, where the world is really built up and fleshed out in a couple of pages, and immediately you get thrown into the issue at hand or the story at hand. It takes no time at all to get hooked into this world and the characters that you're following and what role they play. And obviously it is a female protagonist as well. She is also incredibly badass, but there are some science fiction and gadgetry and even some steampunk elements as well, just not as steampunk. I guess cyberpunk is the proper term throughout this as well. So if you're a fan of maybe even the cyberpunk video game, cyberpunk anime, this is a great starting point as well. It has a lot of notes that we see in comic books, especially in the independent realm, and it is a absolutely great read. If you can get the box set, I highly recommend it, but that all-in-one is a great digestible way to pick up the series and jump right in. But that does wrap up number 2, so we'll jump to number 1. And coming in at number 1 is going to be Blade of the Immortal, which I have collected in these Dark Horse Deluxe editions. I highly recommend this to a multitude of comic book readers. If you're a huge fan of a historical setting, if you're a huge fan of the samurai kind of world, as well as samurai elements, I also very much recommend this to my fans of Wolverine or Logan, because this does follow the character of Manji, who is a unkillable samurai, which obviously there are some pretty decent connections there between Wolverine and Manji, but it is absolutely magnificent. My action lovers, I also recommend this because the fight scenes throughout this entire manga are absolutely beautiful as well. I've heard somebody describe this as never seeing death look so good, and that's exactly what you're getting as well. And my art lovers, I also recommend this because it does have a lot of similar art styles and art feeling overall, or art tone, to a lot of the panels that we do see in comic books, almost resembling that of Jim Lee if you added a anime or manga flair to his art style, with a lot of cross-hatching, a lot of scratchiness as well as movement, and that's exactly what you get. It is absolutely beautiful, and first time I jumped into this, I immediately just thought of how great this title is for anybody that's branching out of comic books and into manga. This is the title you're going to want to start with. But that does wrap up today's top 5. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, the same recommendation I make at the end of pretty much all of my videos. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what is in your top 5 or what you would add to the list. I feel like it was a lot of fun compiling this top 5 and not including your kind of typical manga titles such as Berserk or anything along those lines, and kind of going outside of that element because of either art style, setting, or storytelling in general. But comment down below, let me know your top 5 or what you would add to the list, because I am extremely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. But if you are not part of the community, hit that subscribe button to join the Illuminati. Also, if you do me a favor and hit that thumbs up icon, it's not a super hard task. That means a lot to us on the channel, so I'd be very much appreciative of that. Also, if you did enjoy today's video and you want to see more like it, then hit that bell icon. That way you can get notified anytime this channel puts out content. But once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys soon, and of course, stay nerdy.